Alright guys, welcome back to another Master and Apprentice LEGO review. Today we've got the brand new LEGO Star Wars set coming out May 1st, set 75407, the Star Wars logo with 700 pieces. It's going to be $60 for retail. Now again, this set comes out May 1st. You can find it pretty much at any store that sells LEGO. And if you kind of want a hint of like the scale of this set, the Marvel logo came out earlier this year. It's very similar. There's some big differences for sure, but just in general, the style is very similar. Now, one thing that you might be able to tell a big difference between those two sets is this is more 18 plus. The other one didn't say 18 plus, and it had minifigures included. This has no minifigures included. It's got the all black box art with the 18 plus at the bottom corner. I don't really know why Star Wars went this route, not going the route of Marvel or vice versa. I don't know why they didn't just copy one another. I think it's unfortunate we didn't get minifigures in this set, as I'll get on a little bit later. But for the box art, there's nothing much else to go into it. It's literally just a picture of the set. It says Star Wars in the corner. I mean, there's not much else to go in. It's all black like most 18 plus sets. For the back of the box art, it's just kind of showing off what it might look like on a shelf, scale-wise, color-wise, just what it looks like. And then it has a picture of, A New Hope, the poster, the commercial poster. So that's pretty nice too. And then a lot of these 18 plus sets, which I wish they would do it on every set, they give you the metrics of the set, how long, how wide it is. I really appreciate that because sometimes it's really hard to tell scale-wise, both from an online retail and just even in person in a box. You can't always tell. So I really appreciate that. Otherwise, there's not much else to go in the back of this box. So the logo itself, you can kind of tell it's kind of got this unique building technique. It's not just, a vertical up and down building technique. There's some other techniques put into it. You can see there's all kinds of different techniques just from the black paneling on the inside, but even the lettering, it's got all these different curves, these different plates. I think it came out pretty sharp for the most part. There's, very few, different edges that kind of look out of place, like these S's, the curves, but that's kind of unavoidable when you're going into a building block company, right? Like everything's try to be based off of blocks. So you're gonna have a hard time getting everything to be super smooth, right? Especially when everything's kind of hard, rugged edged. So besides that, I don't think there's really anything obviously wrong with the lettering and like the paneling and the tiling. I think it looks really good. Comparative to the Marvel set, it's pretty similar in size. The Marvel set is a lot more hollow, but it's a little bit more wide. So in general, they're very similar. I gotta say, the Star Wars set is a lot more sturdy. The Marvel set, it's just like casing on the outside, right? So like it's very easy to, I could just smack it down and everything would collapse. This one, the Star Wars one, is a lot more sturdy, which for, display purposes doesn't always matter because you're not gonna be playing with it. But I think it always just is affirming when your set isn't gonna break so easily. Like it just makes you feel better about putting it places. So I really appreciate that. If you really wanted to, I guess it has this really easy capability of just splitting down the middle, which I think is neat. Again, the Marvel logo, even the play functions of like trying to open things up, right, isn't always easy to put back together. It's not always easy. It just kind of falls apart. It's a little funky sometimes. The Star Wars one I think is a lot more sturdy, and while there's not as many minifigures and Easter eggs than maybe the Marvel logo, when it comes to like a display set, I think it just beats the Marvel one maybe. When it comes to minifigures, Easter eggs, like I mentioned, there's really nothing. The only thing to mention is on top of the ST, you can take off the paneling, and there's a little Easter egg, again from A New Hope, a Star Destroyer, and the Tantive 4, right? The opening scene of Star Wars, which is probably why they put that A New Hope poster on the back of the box. That's it when it comes to Easter eggs. There's nothing else on the inside. There's no other, hints or details either in the box or instruction manual or anything like that, which, I think is a real bummer. There's so much history with Star Wars, more than the MCU, right? And the MCU Marvel logo got 5 minifigures. So I wish we would have gotten one, especially for $60. I think we could have afforded at least one minifigure I think a George Lucas minifigure would have been phenomenal, or you know, a Darth Vader, right, or a Luke Skywalker, like one of those, or R2D2, like one of those iconic characters from Star Wars. I think that really would have been nice, but they don't really advertise that. They don't advertise it to be a play set. They advertise it as a display set. So for what it is and what you get, I think it does really well. If you flip it around, it's there. I guess you can say it. There's not much else going on. Sometimes with other, you know, displayable Star Wars sets, they'll have it so that it says Star Wars either way you display it. This is not one of those sets. You can't just turn it around. It's not one of those reversed sets. They would have to make it a little bit more wide, and they'd have to split it down the middle, so they'd have to have like black all the way through, and then they'd have to switch the paneling. They didn't do that. I don't think that's needed. I think it still works the way it is. So, kind of a quick short one. That's mostly due to the fact there's not a whole lot to get in and nitty gritty with to review. It's a Star Wars logo, right? It's sturdy, it's thick, the building techniques are unique. You know, for what they advertise, a Star Wars logo 18 plus display set, I think this set excels. And it's not outrageously expensive. $60 is pretty fair, I think, for how big this set is, how thick it is, how sturdy it is, how many pieces you get, right? The Marvel set was $40 more expensive, and it's relatively the same size. You're only getting 5 more minifigures, which I wouldn't say is warranting $40. So I do like this set. Comparative to the Marvel set, I think they look really good next to each other. Again, I wish we would have gotten some minifigure. They don't advertise that, so I'm trying not to base my review on that. But I think most fans would agree a minifigure would have been nice in this set. So with all those things being said, I would recommend this if you're a Star Wars fan. If you like to display your Lego Star Wars sets, I would recommend this. I'd probably give this a 9 out of 10. This is one of my favorite 18 plus sets I've seen in a while. I like it. I'm going to put it on my shelf next to my Marvel logo. I think it's all going to look good. So with all that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and if you guys have any questions, let us know down in the comments. Let us know what you guys thought of this set down in the comments, and we'll see you guys in the next one.